It gives me great pleasure as Grand Secretary of the Grand Orange Lodge of Ireland to be asked by the North West Cultural Partnership to introduce a series of videos, The Virtual 12th, created as part of the Newgate Fringe Festival 2020. The Grand Orange Lodge of Ireland announced on the 6th of April that all parades were cancelled to help stop the spread of coronavirus. It was a difficult but the right decision, as the virus spreads in crowds, and our parades bring thousands onto the streets, indeed hundreds of thousands on the 12th day. The institution gave up the 12th for everyone's health. For the past number of months, members from all the loyal orders, bands and local groups have been committed to supporting the National Health Service and essential workers by playing a full and active role in the community response. Recently, there's been a slight easing of the lockdown restrictions, which doesn't mean everything is back to normal. So we all need to continue to play our part and obey the regulations. While our parades have been cancelled, the 12th hasn't been, and we're encouraging everyone to enjoy the day. I applaud the efforts of all those who are supporting the 2020 12th at home, the bands bringing traditional tunes to your door, and the online content provided by Grand Lodge's Radio Boyne, and these wonderful videos produced by Newgate Fringe, which were recorded during lockdown and prior to some of the recent issues that have caused controversy and distress. Please do not mimic bad behaviour. Obey the current regulations. We look forward to next year when we return to our traditional parades and celebrations, and also mark the centennial of Northern Ireland. Until then, may I wish the festival every blessing, and that you all have a wonderful day, a socially distant 12th of July.
My name's Victor Ray. I was born here in the city of Londonderry, in the Park Avenue area of Londonderry. I was a past City Grand Master of the City of Londonderry Grand Orange Lodge. I'm now the press officer. I'm also a secretary of my own lodge, Britannia LOL 1912, the Fountain Lodge. And the first lodge I started in was in Eden Terrace, believe it or not. And it was Ulster Pride 846. And unfortunately, through one thing and another, with the troubles and everything, it folded up and I moved to Britannia LOL 1912. I'm also a member of the Grand Orange Lodge of Ireland and also the Imperial Grand Council of the World. I attended that in my time as well. So that's where I'm coming from today as a member, and a very proud member of over 50 years of the City of Londonderry Grand Orange Lodge. Orangeism was formed in 1795 after the Battle of the Diamond. Then, why they formed the lodges was to protect Protestantism and protect Protestants as they were getting attacked in their homes. So it was started up around the Portadown area, and in the first lodge, number 1 lodge, is up around that area in Portadown. Then it started to spread through the different counties and cities. And we went back, and the history we have found that the City of Londonderry was formed, maybe not as a City of Londonderry Lodge, but members of the Orange Institution in 1834. So we are operating here since 1834 in the city, and then the Orange grew then where they had more lodges coming in, more warrants handed out, and then districts. We went into districts then. We in the City of Londonderry have 5 districts within our jurisdiction. We also have 24 lodges in the jurisdiction, which covers from Claudy, Waterside, West Bank of the city, and we have number 3 district, which operates in Donegal, which is a very strong district as well. I'm an affiliated member to St Johnstone Lodge, which will be 200 years old next year. It's the oldest lodge in the City of Londonderry, and the City Grand Lodge is very proud of that. and St Johnstone was very proud as well. Through the years, they've come through First World War, Second World War, and that was the only time they never marched on the 12th until this year. So we also had the Troubles, which was very, very difficult for us here because a lot of our members resided here in the west bank of the city. And from the Troubles started, there was about 18,000 people, roughly, shifted from the west bank of the city to the east bank. Either forced out, or didn't feel happy, or their friends went. My own family was forced out in Gale Terrace. They were shot into a couple of nights. My father was a policeman, so they had to move. So he moved to the Fountain then. And we have come through that as well, but we lost a lot of members going to, as I say, and we couldn't get into the hall, but we still kept going here, and we now have a good, vibrant lodges here within the city. A lot of young people in the lodges, and willing to join and willing to come into the brotherhood and socialise and have friends. They're all friends. So it's a good institution. And now we've come to the pandemic, and I'm sure we'll get through the pandemic as well. We have been very active in the pandemic, right through the whole of Northern Ireland and Donegal as well, where we're looking after vulnerable people. And you've seen it, you can see it on Facebook or wherever. And we hope now to get back now when these government restrictions are all lifted. But unfortunately this year we won't be marching on the 12th to celebrate our culture. So even our church service celebrating the Battle of the Boyne is cancelled this year as well. But maybe I think they're going to be virtual so you can watch them online. So that's where we are here at the moment. And the City of Londonderry Grand Lodge, as you see, have come through very difficult times. But they are here now, and we have come to this point. And I would like to think on the years ahead that the City Grand Lodge will grow stronger from all of this.
Hello, my name is Billy Cairns. Lived in the waterside all my life. I've been a member of the Hamilton Flute Band since I was 10 years of age. I'm now 73, so it's a fair wee record. I'm also a member of Britannia Loyal 1912, which is known as the Fountain Lodge. And I've been in that lodge since I sort of graduated from the junior lodge and the senior lodge when I was about 15 or 16. Well, the band is my main hobby, and it has meant the world to me because I've made so many friends and done so many things that I wouldn't have done on my own. And I enjoyed the comradeship, and I've always enjoyed the parades. Going away with the band was always a great day's outings for me. Well, my family were all connected with the Orange Order, and I went in as a juvenile to Victoria Lodge 175, which met in the men, and I became their secretary for quite a number of years. And then, as I say, I got to an age where I could join the senior lodge, and I moved into what nearly was a sister lodge, where I joined 1912. It has been a tremendous test for everyone, I think. Personally speaking, my wife has to stay in the house, he's not allowed out. So it curtailed our outness greatly. It also meant that I couldn't go to the band, couldn't go to the lodge, couldn't go to the Legion, which is a great part of my life as well. So it's been a bit of a bind for everyone, really, but sure, it had to be done, and we just have to face up to it. It's not only playing the music, it's just the comradeship and the crack, and just the company, and you know, for generally a usually friendly band. I get on with each other quite well. Oh no, it's been a bit of a strain now. Well, for a long number of years, the band was predominantly male, fully male, until we changed over to the new flutes, and that brought the introduction. And James Galway made the flute famous throughout the world. Girls then wanted to play it as well as boys, and the introduction of girls probably saved the likes of our band, because in the 70s, late 70s roughly, the first flute bands sort of took over, and that took all the males, mostly all the males. So in that way, the girls were a saviour to us until things steadied up again, you know. So we're very grateful for them. Well, I think it was the correct decision given the circumstances. It may have eased a wee bit now, coming up to the 12th, but that's hindsight. You just don't know what's in front of you. But it was a good decision, I think, for all the orders to go together on it. Well, you know, surprisingly, they got off to a shaky start. I thought, here we go again, that'll be party politics all the way. But they have gelled together and worked well, I think, taking the role seriously and giving their updates, and trying to make the right moves at the right time through their advice. So generally speaking, I would have to say yes, they've done a pretty good job. Well, we've led a number of lodges over the years, you know, and it's a pretty good relationship we have now with the present lodge, and it goes off pretty well together, you know, and there's a good harmony there between both. Well, I think Coleraine has to be a pretty good, except the marching up the hill. That's the worst part of it, but it's a pretty good destination. And Limavady is another good destination because it's all on the flat, more or less, all on the flat in Limavady. Well, now, my lodge, I have to say this, I have a good relationship with William King, and that's the band that leads us. And a great marching band, probably is the march behind.
My name is Mark Logan, East Bank Protestant Boys. I've been in the band now for about 3 years. Well, some of the main projects we've been doing is some of the murals for the NHS. There's one here in Irish Street, there's one on Bond Street, Nelson Drive, and New Buildings, and we had actually done one for a couple of cousins of ours, a couple of family members that we have in Antrim. So So we've done 5 NHS murals, sort of in support of the NHS, and they thank the NHS for their hard work during the pandemic. It's just the crack and banter with everybody. The band practice on a Monday night, parade on a Friday or Saturday night, doing indoors and stuff. It's all about the social aspect of it.
Yeah, my name's David Laborn. I've lived here in High Street for over 20 plus years. I've been a member of the band here in the estate for, I think it's 16 years now, it'll be this year. And throughout the years now, we've seen more and more females joining the band, whether it be colour party, flutes, or I've even seen girls drumming. The way I see it is, if you're good enough to do something, then you're good enough to do it, plain and simple. There should be no objections to anything, no matter what.
My name's Valerie Moore and I'm the secretary of Mountjoy Women's Loyal Orange Lodge, who meets in the waterside of the city. I enjoy the Women's Lodge. We have great friendship, we all look out for each other, and I like to organise events for them, so I just enjoy it as an organisation.
I think in the grand scheme of things, I think it was the right decision. It was understandably a tough decision, but I think due to the pandemic, I think you're better erring on the safe side. So the decision to cancel the parade, if it's going to help save lives and stop the spread of the virus, then ultimately it was the right decision.
I do. It's not the fact that they wanted to cancel it in general or anything. It's more to do, obviously, keeping people safe, preventing the large gatherings, and it's one of those things. You know, you have to abide by the rules and regulations that's currently in place, and as hard as it's for me to say, but I do genuinely believe that it was the correct decision.
It was a bit disappointing for us this lockdown because our lodge was actually celebrating 100 years. This year was our 16th of January 1920. The lodge was formed and we had lots of things organised. So I spent a lot of lockdown cancelling some of the things and trying to rearrange different dates, but I just kept myself busy.
With not being about defiance, it means that we didn't stick the 2 fingers up to the government and say we're parading anyway. I think we've respectfully made the right decision, and I think we can show in future periods that we can celebrate, and we can show that if need be we can hold off on the celebrations for basically a global pandemic, to prevent the spread of a global pandemic.
This year on the 12th of July, we have nothing organised as yet, but I would say we could possibly all meet at my house, especially now that it's all painted. And we could have tea and scones or whatever, maybe get a photograph taken us all in our collarettes. As I say, this was our special year, 100 years, so we will definitely meet up, and maybe if there's something on in the afternoon, we will all go, just not as, you know, we'll all go as friends to whatever's organised.
It has always been a family get-together for me. Even before I got married and had children, it was always a family thing that we gathered at the front door and watched the parade going past. If the parade happened to pass, if it was here in the town, after joining the band, still, it was always a family thing. So it's a reason for our family to get together and bond with one another.
I hope they build on this. I hope obviously for next year it's bigger and better. I can't speak on behalf of the Orange Order or the Apprentice Boys, but I do hope that they look at this and they do go all out and make next year bigger and better.
If you stood long enough, I would paint you grey. I painted everything. We got the house done up so outside, so every flower pot, every ornament was painted grey. On the first week we painted inside, we painted the staircase. I learned to make shortbread and I went for walks. The Women's Orange, it's hard to get women to join. Some people just take the wrong idea that you're just there to make tea and things like that. We do a lot of organising, we do a lot of charity work. We would organise coffee mornings and that for cancer, and it's a great friendship, it's a great sisterhood to be in, and I'm proud to be a member.
Home. It's always better at home, I think, because it's handier to everything. It's everywhere you know, and people that you like seeing people that you know standing at the side clapping and celebrating, as opposed to passing strangers.